welcome Chief Justice Roberts to administer the presidential oath of office.
Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Donald John Trump, do solemnly swear
I, Donald John Trump, do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully execute
that I will faithfully execute
the office of President of the United States
the office of President of the United States
and will, to the best of my ability,
and will, to the best of my ability,
preserve, protect, and defend
preserve, protect, and defend
the Constitution of the United States.
the Constitution of the United States.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations, Mr.
Mr. Vice President, are you prepared to take the oath of office as President of the United States?
I am, sir.
If you will raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Gerald R. Ford, do solemnly swear
I, Gerald R. Ford, do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully execute
that I will faithfully execute
the office of President of the United States
the office of President of the United States
and will, to the best of my ability,
and will, to the best of my ability,
preserve, protect, and defend
preserve, protect, and defend
the Constitution of the United States.
the Constitution of the United States.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations, Mr. President.
Greetings from the east to north to south, and this wicked ass west. The topic, 1976 to 2026. The questions, why you think 50 years of innovation in America did not change America. Let's get into it. I'm your host. I am the one.
In 1976, Gerald Ford was the president because Richard Nixon was impeached maybe 2 years before. And I remember when Richard Nixon got on the airplane. Richard Nixon, he would always give the two-hand peace sign. And he was making his exit after he was impeached. I want to compare 50 years ago to today. What happened to the president compared to the president today? Because I think in those days, although he was racist as all hell, of course, but I think all the presidents had more respect for America than Donald Trump. I remember when a change was taking place when the second Bush president, W. Bush, George W., when he was in office. I remember there was a switch in the way they conducted the office of the presidency. And I don't think it would have been like that 50 years ago. They had more respect. But regardless of the fact, I want to talk about five things. 5 things. 50 years ago, the number one movie in America. 50 years ago, the number one car in America. 50 years ago, the number one, I think I said movie and song. I know I got 5 things. 50 years compared to today. I think it was a more simpler time in 1976, but I want to make a comparison. Let's go to the next clip. Of course, this was one of the most popular cars of the 1974, 1976 era. The Chevy Impala. 4 doors, brown. In those days, when we saw these cars, we would look and say, wow, would you look at that? Mind you now, this was 1974, 76 range. It was one of the most better selling cars in that time frame. Now, I think in 1976, there was a car called the Oldsmobile Cutlass. I'm pretty sure the younger people never heard of it, but I think in 1976, that was the best-selling car in the country.
Let's take a closer look. The 2026 Chevrolet Impala SS revives an iconic nameplate, blending muscular aesthetics with contemporary sophistication. With an aggressive design and impressive engineering under the hood, this car is set to capture the hearts of enthusiasts and those who demand both power and comfort.
The Chevy Impala is back, but not in the way anyone expected. Sleek, futuristic, and more premium than ever, the 2026 Chevrolet Impala isn't just a comeback, it's a statement, a message from Chevy that the sedan isn't dead, it was just waiting for the right moment to return.
In 1976, the movie Rocky was the #1 movie of the year. I think it was either 75, 76, but the #1 movie. 50 years later, I would say Sinners was the #1 movie in the country. It all depends on who you listen to. The Good Christian White Man will name every other movie but Sinners. And then, I did a quick Google search, and they said, well, it was mentioned in the top 20. They would never really give me a number. So therefore, scrap it. I would say Sinners is the #1 movie of 2025, 2026. So we're going to say Sinners is the #1 movie 50 years later. I think it grossed over $350 million. Now, one thing about, if you try to get accurate numbers from the mainstream society, they will not give it to you. All they do is lie. But the Rocky movie, Muhammad Ali was heavyweight champion in 1976. And the Good Christian White Man needed some type of hero to, inflate their ego. So Sylvester Stallone, they put the project together, Rocky. It showed that Good Christian White Man, he'll come along and knock the heavyweight champion out, and white people feel good. Now, I think the movie was based off the life of Muhammad Ali, because it was a flashy black boxer. Carl Weathers, he passed, but he played the role of Apollo Creed. And he was a flashy boxer, extremely fast, well-built. But the Good Christian White Man, they didn't want people to look up to nobody black. And of course, in 1976, Ali was, of course, the heavyweight champion. So the Good Christian White Man said, wait a minute, let's go to Hollywood and let's make a champ. And we're going to make him, of course, white. You get the picture. Now, again, let me get back on focus. The top movie of 1976 was Rocky, the first one. The top movie, as far as I'm concerned, in 2026, 2025, Sinners. Let's check out the clips. I'll be back.
Stinging the slower challenger, jabs at will. In fact, it just looks like Rocky is blocking the blows with his face. The champion doesn't look the best he's ever been, but he's really moving smoothly now.
Well, that champion is smiling now. He's toying with his man. He's trying to give the finger on.
Hey, I don't believe it!
Hey, the champ is down.
Yes, he is.
Hey, brother. Be careful. I will. I ain't ever seen no demons ghosts, no magic.
Sinners. Sinners was one of my favorite movies of all time. I haven't been to the movies in over 30 years, but I had to go see that one. Now, my final clip is about housing, home prices. You can get a real nice, expensive home in 1976 for about $40,000. And in 1976, that was considered very, very high. I think today in America, the typical new home costs about $350,000. Let's go to my final clip.
The Dallas Board of Realtors has been predicting it, but has hoped for the consumer's sake it would never see such figures. But the board says the average sales price of a home in Dallas has now exceeded $40,000, the highest price ever recorded, 12% higher than last year. The root cause of the record figure, inflation, and a continuing decline in the inventory of homes on today's market.
February 2022, new construction home prices, the average price to buy a home was $511,000. Okay, that's something that we really need to wrap our heads around. $511,000 for a new construction home, the average price. So that's taking all of those homes for sale that are new, that's what the average is selling for. So again, let's wrap our heads around that. Highest it's ever been.
In 1974, if you wanted to buy a house in Dallas, $40,000 was a large amount of money. Can you imagine 2026? You'll be paying $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 for a brand new home. Wow, what a difference 50 years make. Thank you for watching. I am your host. I am